And welcome, guys. Welcome back to the Local Success Podcast, where we interview businessmen from around Maryland that are locally here. And we're not doing the tech sector, we're not doing the data software sector, we're doing the healthcare, and we're doing assisted living caring. And please welcome our businessman, Amit Sood. So, how are you doing today?
Doing okay. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything to explain yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, my name is Amit Sood. I am privileged to be sitting with you, and a little background on me. I'm born in India, raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to be in the geriatrical field, being able to provide care to the elderly, which there's a vast need for it, especially
Mm,
with the baby boomers
yeah.
retiring now. So I'm looking forward to our interview.
Yeah, perfect. So, before we talk about this business, I'm we have to get into the idea of what inspired you to get enter the senior care industry. There's so many other sectors that you can go in, but what inspired you to go into the senior care industry?
Yeah, I think it's about finding the niche, finding the problem, and that's business 101. And that's being able to figure out what the problem is, and then trying your best to be able to have some sort of a solution. Obviously, there was it's a worldwide known phenomenon right now of baby boomers retiring, and they certain aspects of the world they don't have the type of care or the access to the facilities that our elderly need direly.
Okay, it does take a unique drive to do this, but although sometimes your business might be successful, what is your biggest daily operational challenge doing senior home care?
Yeah, so the grass is always greener. There's in business, if anybody's telling you that it's a walk in the park, they are fibbing to you. But there's pros and cons. But on a day-to-day basis, there's so much that's involved. With medical professionals that are required in this business, all the way from PCPs to delegating nurses to dealing with hospice, dealing with you know tons of different aspects of the hospital and medical field. So being able to be well versed in that, being able to navigate through that, whether it's connection based or just through your knowledge or reach outs, that has its own challenges on a day to day basis.
Yeah. And you talk about finding these staff, talking about the medical professionals, but how do you find these medical professionals and retain those compassionate staff?
At the end of the day, it's about the type of work culture that you create, and you hope that that's satisfactory enough to have help that goes along and shares the same values that you do on a day-to-day basis. So I think having that right mindset, treating everybody like how you would want to be treated,
Mm.
and not just saying it, but actually implementing it, those are some major key points in it, being able to retain and then also acquire individuals that are going to help you grow.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, but also even though you have so much success, there's going to be failures, and every massive success hides some brutal scars. So what do you think was your single biggest financial or operational mistake that happened while you were starting out this business?
Oh my God, what a great question. Uh, so tons of them on a day-to-day basis. I'm a huge fan of Michael Jordan, just like
Mm,
everybody else. And if you look at one of his most prominent um, quotes that is out there, it's the success comes from the failures. He says, if I don't to succeed, if I don't fail, I have no idea how that feels for me to be able to get to the promised land of success.
mm,
So not comparing myself to Michael Jordan, but that's my go-to of when I try to approach things. Um, and I think the best way to put it is just believe in yourself, and I think the rest, and you got to work hard, right? That's
yeah.
and all of that puts a nice little recipe for success.
Also with your biggest financial operational mistake, Have you ever been close in your business to going broke or shutting down? And how did you survive?
Yeah, you know, 7 out of 10 businesses, small businesses in America, close
Mm,
within the first 90 days, right? So it really matters on how your stars align, the niche that you're in, and just how everything just kind of plays out. There's a lot of different factors with that. Um, has that happened to me? Fortunately, it has not yet. So my percentage is all right. But at the same time, can it happen and does it happen? Yeah, 70% of the time it happens. It's so difficult to get, especially from scratch, starting a business and getting it to fruition, and making it work. It's less than 30% chance. So
30%?
yeah.
That's that's insane. It's like and crazy that like when you interview like somebody like you don't hear this in classrooms. Like this is like big information that you have to interview somebody for. But also, I wanted to ask you this basically for myself because I'm going into high school. But what do schools completely get wrong when teaching people how to build a business?
I think the hands-on aspect is always there, right? So at the end of the day, there's so many different types of people and how they grasp knowledge. Some people are visuals. Some people can retain the knowledge that's coming to them. Sitting in a classroom setting. So I think all of it is really important. To say that, oh, if I just go get the experience and I don't have the book smarts and I can bypass that, I probably wouldn't be doing it justice.
Hmm.
So I personally feel that classroom has its own value, hands on, boots on the ground experience has its own. And you put those together, you potentially may land into the 30%.
That's amazing. I mean, that's just like hand-on information. But also like those like big like I just wanted to ask like I don't know if this is rude or not, but like how do you think how much revenue does like an average senior care location bring in like per year?
So it's all over the board, right? So there's people that utilize their own homes to get licensed to be able to provide care, and unfortunately, when you are at a lower quantity number of beds that you're caring for, your overhead ends up kind of being through the roof.
Hmm.
So it's more of a numbers and scaling game. Um, it can go anywhere from 50 to $100,000, and then you can go all the way up to millions of dollars depending on larger facilities, right?
Millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars, sure, sure.
And like during like this process, how did you secure like the capital to launch like your very first location of these like senior homes?
Yeah, fortunately, I was able to have some experience through my uncle, who, by education and trade, he was a civil engineer, but he had gotten into a couple of different side businesses, and then at one point he also had a liquor store. So being able to kind of work with him and learn the ins and outs kind of built a nice little foundation, and I think that's what really
Hmm.
helped in the long run. But to be able to secure financing, there's so many different avenues that the government has available, through SBA. There's so many other avenues, but at the end of the day, you really have to believe in yourself, and you really have to be ready to take on that kind of responsibility,
Yeah,
right?
I absolutely love that. But also to wrap this up, like this is going to be probably the best section that everybody will see. This
Okay.
will be the best section. But I just wanted to ask first thing,
Yeah.
what is the single best piece of advice you've ever received? Like other than the Michael Jordan quote, like
Yeah.
yeah, what is the biggest piece of advice?
Yeah, and I take it with me, to the grave. It's that you absolutely just can't give up. So if you have failures on a day-to-day basis, many people will start to shy away and say, "Hey, maybe that's not for me." But if you have that passion and you have that drive and you have that motivation, not just saying it, but you truly believe it inside your gut, and you will figure out every avenue and angle to make things work,
Mm.
you'll put yourself in that 30%.
Put yourself in that 30%.
Right.
Next one. Is getting rich in the senior care industry actually worth the immense stress?
I think that's a fair question to ask. Maybe the better way that you're probably wanting to ask that is there a work life balance with it?
Yeah.
Um, I don't think there's any work life balance in any small business, because you are limited, you are restricted to whether you want to go on vacation or whether you have personal things going on. You could be at a stage in your life with kids growing up with multiple activities and this and that. Then you have all the pressure of being able to produce the revenue that you're mentioning. So on top of that, you'll have multiple employees that you'll be responsible for to be able to provide paychecks to them so that they can take care of their families. Uh, not to shy anyone away from business, but you really have to have the stomach for it.
Hmm.
And some people have it, and some people, when you don't have any other choice, end up attaining that as well. So uh, I personally, I've always been uh, somewhat involved in small business. I have a passion for it, and that's why I think I'm
Hmm.
somewhat a little bit of success.
Like the pattern I'm seeing is that I've interviewed like the three businessmen like so far, and the pattern is always passion and like never giving up, and that's the biggest like financial advice I've heard, and like from you, from Sony Uncle, from
Yeah.
all from like like the millionaire that I interviewed on the first episode,
Okay.
like it was that same pattern,
Yeah.
and like I'm starting to figure out like that is a main goal to getting like a successful small business.
Right.
But hypothetical scenario,
Yeah.
if you lost your entire business portfolio tomorrow and only had $1,000, what do you think the exact first move you would make to rebuild it?
Yeah, I would just get right back into work. I would not give up, and I would continue on to try to find the next best opportunity, right? And so whether it's $1,000 or it's the last buck, you have to believe in yourself. And if you have that, 90% you're there. Because a
Mm.
lot of people at that point will just totally give up.
Mm.
They will completely give up, whether it's foreclosing or bankruptcy. So I think that's the key.
Mm. Yeah. But final question. What does financial freedom mean to you now compared to when you started?
Financial freedom has many, many meanings. I would say to be to have the ability to not just have the expenditures and be able to buy nice things that it's probably what you're asking, but to be able to buy your time is the most
Mm.
important thing. To be able to buy your time.
How do you buy your time though? Like that seems pretty confusing. Like just reading that from like a base out.
So, if you are lucky enough to experience success in business and that too passively, you then have an opportunity to buy that time to be able to then have other employees and uh, team members kind of carry the baton while you're also enjoying and, administrating from afar.
Yeah. Well, honestly, this might have been one of the best advice that I've gotten like in a while, and I thank you so much for coming on this podcast for being the third person, and I just hope you had a great time like interviewing me or like me interviewing you today.
Yeah, I had a fantastic time. Thank you very much for having me.
Yep.
And I want to commend you for taking this initiative to come up with content like this. And I think it can be very helpful
Thank you.
to the younger generation. I am very proud of you.
Thank
Rahat
you.
Chachi is very proud of you as well, and the kids all look up to you, and we're very lucky to have you in our life. So thank you,
Thank you so
and best of
much.
luck.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.